concerned, and I felt that it was time to take action. And that was confirmed when I was examining the cocoons and got worried when I saw a darker spot. Sometimes the cocoons can get plagued with something called Black Death, and that's just when they don't make it to the moth stage and they die in the cocoon. Sometimes the moth can even get stuck in the silk threads and have trouble emerging alone. I didn't want one of them to be alive in there and not able to get out, and there I was as a worried mother because our 2 moths were supposed to emerge by now. So I decided it was time to perform surgery on the 2 little ones. But before I did the surgery, I noticed something insane. There was a 3rd silk moth that really confused me. It was seemingly transforming, but it didn't spin any cocoon, and I wasn't sure if it was dead or not, so I put a time lapse on it and separated it from the others, and when I reviewed the footage, I saw it was moving and it looked like it was trying to transform. So I kept the time lapse rolling and something awesome happened. Although really rare, it is possible for silkworms to transform without spinning any cocoon, and I guess that's what was happening with this little one because it started to go from white to brown and it was kind of wiggling around. So as I patiently waited for it to potentially transform into a cocoon, I started to perform the surgery on the first 2 cocoons. If everything went well, inside the silk barriers would be little brown cocoons, and they should move and wiggle. So since I hadn't seen any movement at all, I was really nervous to open them up. I started to realize just how difficult it was raising silkworms from the worms to the moths. I started gently cutting the first one open, and when I got it open enough to see a little brown cocoon, I got excited. I thought, okay, maybe it is alive, but then I noticed that there was this little thing stuck to the bottom of its little bum, and I thought maybe that was part of the caterpillar skin that didn't shed properly. It also looked a bit darker than it should, and it wasn't wiggling at all. I tried to touch the bottom to see if we would get a little wiggle, but it sort of felt like it was liquefied inside, and I thought maybe it just needs more time to transform. But deep down, I had a bad feeling about this first one, and I soon got ready to open the second cocoon. And don't worry, opening cocoons doesn't harm the actual cocoon inside. The silk threads are just like an outer protective barrier, so inside lives a little cocoon. You just have to be careful to open the silk casing properly so you don't harm the actual brown cocoon inside. I started to cut it open really gently, and to my surprise, I revealed that the worm actually didn't even cocoon yet. And that was really strange because usually it happens within just a few days, and it had at this point in time been weeks already. But I thought there was still a chance, so I put it back in its home and got the time lapse rolling. I was still a bit excited though because the fact that we even got to this stage was a huge accomplishment. It takes time and effort, and it's a huge learning process here. I left them in the cocoons for another couple weeks, hoping and praying that somehow, by the grace